For years, adding more sensors was seen as a clear sign of progress in consumer technology. More sensors meant more features, more data, and more intelligence. Phones added depth sensors, motion sensors, biometric sensors, environmental sensors, and specialized cameras. Wearables packed in health sensors. Smart home devices added microphones, cameras, and detectors. The assumption was simple. The more sensors a device had, the smarter and more valuable it would be. That assumption is now quietly being reversed. Across consumer tech, companies are deliberately reducing sensor counts in new gadgets. This shift may seem counterintuitive at first, especially in an era obsessed with data and intelligence. But the decision is driven by a mix of technical, financial, regulatory, and strategic realities that have fundamentally changed how devices are designed. One of the biggest reasons sensor counts are being reduced is diminishing returns. Early sensor additions unlocked obvious new capabilities. Accelerometers enabled motion-based interfaces. GPS enabled navigation and location services. Cameras enabled visual computing. But as devices accumulated more sensors, the benefits became increasingly marginal. Many sensors ended up being rarely used, poorly supported by software, or redundant with data that could be inferred in other ways. Maintaining hardware that delivers little real-world value no longer makes sense at scale. At the same time, software has become far better at extracting value from fewer inputs. Modern devices rely heavily on sensor fusion, where data from a small number of high-quality sensors is combined and interpreted intelligently. Instead of adding new physical sensors, companies use algorithms to infer context, behavior, and environmental conditions. This allows devices to appear more aware while relying on less hardware. In many cases, smarter software has replaced the need for additional sensors entirely. Cost pressure is another major driver. Each sensor adds more than just its component cost. It increases design complexity, power consumption, testing requirements, supply chain dependencies, and long-term support obligations. When devices are produced in the tens or hundreds of millions, even small cost savings per unit become significant. Reducing sensor counts helps companies protect margins without cutting features that users actually notice. Power efficiency also plays a critical role. Sensors consume energy not only when actively used, but also when monitoring, calibrating, or waiting for triggers. As battery life has become a core competitive metric, companies are more selective about which sensors earn a place inside a device. Fewer sensors mean fewer background processes, lower idle power draw, and more predictable energy usage over time. Reliability is another underappreciated factor. More sensors mean more potential points of failure. Sensors can drift, degrade, or behave inconsistently across different environments. Supporting them requires calibration routines, diagnostics, and edge case handling. By reducing sensor variety and focusing on fewer, higher quality components, companies improve overall device stability and reduce long-term failure rates. Privacy concerns have also reshaped sensor strategy. Sensors collect data, and data creates risk. Cameras, microphones, location sensors, and biometric sensors face increasing scrutiny from regulators and consumers alike. Every additional sensor expands the potential attack surface and raises questions about consent, data usage, and security. By limiting sensor counts, companies simplify privacy compliance and reduce exposure to regulatory and reputational risk. Regulation itself is a growing influence. Devices sold globally must comply with a patchwork of rules related to data collection, safety, accessibility, and environmental impact. Sensors that collect sensitive data often trigger additional requirements, audits, and disclosures. Removing or consolidating sensors can significantly reduce regulatory complexity, making global product launches easier and faster. Another important reason sensor counts are shrinking is ecosystem dependence. Devices no longer need to do everything on their own. They can rely on nearby devices to share data. A smartwatch can rely on a phone's GPS. A tablet can rely on a laptop for advanced input. A smart home device can depend on a central hub. This distributed approach allows individual devices to be simpler while the overall system remains powerful. Manufacturing efficiency also benefits from fewer sensors. Simplified internal layouts improve yields, reduce defects, and speed up assembly. This is especially important as companies prioritize consistency and scalability over experimental hardware. Fewer unique components make supply chains more resilient, which matters in a world where disruptions are more common and costly. From a design perspective, reducing sensor counts supports cleaner product decisions. Instead of adding sensors to justify marketing claims, companies are forced to focus on outcomes that users actually care about. Does the device work reliably? Is it fast? Does it last all day? Does it stay secure over time? Many sensors do not meaningfully contribute to these goals. This shift also aligns with longer device lifespans. Sensors are hardware-dependent and cannot be upgraded after purchase. Software, on the other hand, can evolve for years. By minimizing reliance on specialized sensors, companies ensure that devices age more gracefully. Features can improve through updates rather than becoming obsolete because a particular sensor is no longer sufficient. Importantly, reducing sensor counts does not mean devices are becoming less capable. In many cases, they are becoming more capable in practice. Better algorithms, more efficient processing, and smarter system design allow devices to deliver consistent, reliable experiences with